Hello, everybody. This is a training through Screencast-O-Matic on using Notebook in OneNote. First of all, sign on to hempsteadschools.org. Go ahead into your waffle once you sign into your email accounts. Once you get to the waffle, it will open up to your apps, and OneNote is resting in your apps under the waffle. I already created a notebook that will be in a different training. This specifically addresses the math tool. You would click New Notebook and set up your notebook there. I'm going to go ahead into an existing notebook. Once you open up your notebook, you have different views. You can open up the accordion here on the left, the menu system, and that opens up different tabs for you, sections and pages. I have created a welcome, collaboration space, content library, and teacher only. I'm going to go ahead and use my content library space, and I'm going to go ahead and create a page called homework. In this case, we're doing perimeter. The reason why I chose to use the draw tool today is because inside of the draw tool, it allows you, your students, to interact in your notebook and solve math problems. It completes the problem for them and shows them step by step the math that's involved. And since they are using a touch screen, many of them, it does recognize the math problem when they draw it on the touch screen. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and write the problem. I already had that prepared for you. I'm going to select the problem with this marquee here in the top left corner under draw. Once I select it, it's going to recognize that I want the notebook to help assist me with the math. And I'm going to click math. Once I click math, the add-on math, it does recognize my handwriting. Sometimes the student's handwriting, it is not. They can fix it, or they can apply text in text style. Meaning if they are satisfied, they can go ink to math, meaning it will take their handwriting off and put it to text. The next step is to down arrow here. You got a selection to evaluate. You want to teach them to evaluate the problem. What is the answer? It does give them the answer, and this is no means to encourage them to shortcut the system, but it does show them step-by-step solution steps in the next help section. And it shows them, if you're going by the Common Core standards or next generation of standards, how to count up by 5s to get to the answer. It also has an immersed reading built-in tool to those that have English as a second language. Perhaps you want it to read the problem to them, and you can also change the immersed reader, and I will show you how to do that in a moment, to their specific language. So we're going to go ahead and tap on that, and what it does is it talks out the steps. The immersed reader I already have set up. It recognizes your screen, and it also allows you to pull out certain verbs. And in this case, since we're doing math, there are certain verbs that I want them to know definitions of: add, get. So it will highlight those in red. If you were working on text sets, you might want to pull out some nouns and change the color for those, or adjectives or adverbs, whatever you're showing for that day. That immersed reader also allows you to select different speeds, how you want it to read to them. So you can increase the speed or decrease the speed, and you can obviously change the text font style, because some students, the fancy text, they cannot read from. The last step of the immersed reader before you set that up is to allow for certain things to provide terms and color them in the selected color from the verbs, nouns, adverbs section, and also choose the language which you would like them to work from. In this case, most times we will probably pick Spanish, so I'm going to go ahead, and it is regional, so they do give you the Central and Latin America, which would be Central and South, and then Mexico and Spain. So we're going to go ahead with the Latin America, and I want it to read the whole document. Okay, so it will give them the ability to press play and read the document. I'm just going to cut that short because that's not really the subject of the training, the tutorial here, but I will let you know that that is an option for you to set up the Immerse Reader. And as I said, I would point that out to you. That is under View. And you can set up your Immerse Reader for each session, each homework or each page. I just have it defaulted to recognizing what's on the screen, highlighting the verbs because we are doing math, and then Spanish. And again, that's under View. What I most like about this tool is that you can generate a practice quiz. Since it is interconnected with your apps under the waffle, you can click Generate a Practice Quiz. It will pick up that problem. It will insert it into a form, and it will give you like an informal assessment or a formal assessment, however you like to use it. It will recognize similar problems to that problem that you are teaching. So if you want your kids to have additional pieces to practice from or to look at with that same equation in mind, you want to go ahead and generate a quiz, and it will talk to forms and it will generate that practice quiz for them based on the problems that you were working with for homework. And as you can see, it gives you some of those distributed properties that were involved there with finding perimeter. Okay, and you can assign this form to them, which we all love forms, and that could be an additional training. If you'd like to sit with me privately on those tech training days, I'd be happy to show you forms as well. And then your students can go in and respond, and you will get those responses through forms, which rests here under your waffle. Again, it's noted by an F. Get down there. Get down to that F. It's down at the bottom there. There's only a certain amount I can get into the screencast, but the forms rest over here as well. And I'm just going to show you kind of like what a form looks like in the application. Okay, so your responses would come in under forms there in your waffle, and you can kind of look at the different responses, and you can also apply the Immerse Reader in your form as well. That concludes how to utilize the math elements in Notebook under your waffle OneNote.